All right, what's up, guys? I'm Xavier,
I'm Alyssa.
and this is
Exactly.
All right, welcome back. We got another episode coming out. Um, we survived.
Yeah.
We made it. Woo! Shoot. Yeah. Um, so the number one team in the West
OKC.
ended up in, on vacation. So.
Oh, okay. I was like on the east side. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right. So we won 2-4.
Yep.
We lost 2, sadly.
Same pattern as
Yeah.
the previous series.
Yeah. So, probability people out there, we already know how this series is going to go. Fingers crossed.
It's kind of surprising, you know? They follow like almost the same pattern. But we'll see what this game tonight is. Game 1.
Against the Timberwolves.
Right.
But let's go back because we were mid-season when we were in the first episode. So let's talk about the rookies.
Right.
How did Chet surprise you?
I like Dave even said, you know, he kind of disappeared. He didn't, which is a good thing for us.
Okay.
Should I say, right? Because I've seen him play. We played against him, you know, regular season, and he can do some damage. I was actually
offensively or defensively?
Offensively mainly, because he did have a pretty good 3-point shot.
Yeah, he did when he was open.
Right. Well, I was afraid that, you know, he would start chunking those threes against D-Live, and maybe D-Live couldn't close out on him.
So how do you think D-Live did with him?
I think he did amazing. I mean, I think, you know, on their own for a while they were kind of struggling.
Yeah.
You would see that you know, the nerves kind of got to both of them. It's a good thing, I guess they're both rookies. Again.
Supposedly.
You know how I feel about that, but you know, they both had some nerves. Like I had mentioned, they're a young team, and you know, luckily we were able to close them out. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm shocked Chet didn't do more. You know. Because they were promoting Wemby and Chet, and D-Live was third or lost.
Yeah.
So I think rookie versus rookie, our rookie was better, more noticeable.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Gafford was a big help in our center position.
EJ.
but I mean, center position wise,
okay.
You know, he was a huge presence. They're a huge help. No one else really stepped up for the Thunder.
I don't know. I feel like Gafford, he got shaken up a bit in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, in the first series, for sure. They're very physical, very different series.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he kind of wasn't prepared for that off the get-go, but there's been, like I had mentioned, the bad blood between us and the Clippers.
Yeah.
Going back to, you know, even when we played there in the bubble. So,
I think it was a very even team, though. I feel like they are very well-rounded, like the Dallas is. Like
Clippers?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think
they have Zubac.
I think that's why that one was harder than OKC. I feel like OKC was a little too easy for number one. You know, for all the hype of number one in the West, it was easier than the Clippers.
Like whenever they had won that first one, which I didn't know they were doing this. They're, you know, showering, the water shower, the Gatorade shower, whatever you want to call it, celebrating and all that. That was a lot of, you know, just
taunting?
the refs. The refs had
the
refs had helped in that game, and I know that a lot of people are gonna not like that comment, but
let's be honest.
Like, if you look at the game, I think at the end of it, they fixed the stats.
Yeah.
We did end up, you know, making a lot less. I think we're like 50% from the free throw, and they were like 90. You know, so they just obviously seized them.
Shot better than us.
But in the first half of that game, which I think deflated the defense because we came out aggressive.
Well,
like the Clippers,
we were already exposed.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, put those talons back and try to calm the series down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Okay. So then, what about the stars? Let's talk about Luka and Shea.
So yeah, I mean, what do you think, Shea?
Oh, I think Shea was spot on.
Shea. I kept saying
Shea.
No.
Shea?
I kept saying Shea.
Yeah.
Shea. Sorry.
Shea. Well, I mean, you have to give him credit. He's a basket when you see one. You know, like I don't think I saw him miss maybe once.
Yeah.
You know, he's
No, he was really good. I didn't get his percentage, but he was killing it. He was probably the only one that was out there scoring. I don't know. I think Jalen Williams was supposed to be his next runner-up.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody came.
No one else shined.
No one
Not
else
like
came
him.
to help. Yeah, the only one that did for a little bit was that Lou Dort guy.
Mm-hmm.
He got a couple free throws or fouls, should I say, in a couple games, and
yeah.
But we know the story with him. He had terrible games, really, averaging about 6-8 points a game. It's not a number 2 type thing, but Shea did everything he could.
I agree.
And he was a bucket every time. It was hard to guard.
Totally. Especially with our Luka being so down.
Terrible. It was 24 points. Which, I mean, that's not the worst, right?
It's not the worst, but it's worse for Luka.
And Shea averaged 32. So, yeah. 32 points in that series. I mean, he was
bringing it.
And Luka he struggled. He was injured and whatnot. He still played through it. Sometimes I was saying just sit down, don't play through it. Just take the break if you're gonna end up going 0 for 7 or whatever it is on those streaks that they were going on.
Yeah.
But we pulled through. Our other guys came through. PJ came through, sealed the series after a foul at the 3-point line by Shea. Then that's all she wrote. Bye to number 1.
Yeah, Luka was having a bad season, but what about Kai? How do you think he?
Very passive.
What he brought,
He was very passive. Very passive. He brought a lot of defense, I will say. A lot of steals. He made just a lot of clutch moments.
Yeah.
Whenever they were important. On the defensive side, on the offensive side, I feel like he was very dormant. He kind of let Luka still steer the wagon,
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's going to change with this new series?
I really don't.
No, it's going to be still Luka's team.
Yeah, absolutely. He's saying, he might need to be a little more aggressive in the beginning or whatnot. I think, if anything, this would be the series for him to start doing that.
For Kai.
For Kai.
Oh, okay.
As I mentioned, maybe the last 2 series, he was letting Luka do his thing and hoping to get to this point, which now we're in the Western Conference Finals.
But you don't think that would tire Kai, having to start early because Luka isn't? And then he's a closer. He's known for his fourth quarters.
I wouldn't say so much just starting early. I would just say, because even in the fourth quarter, he wasn't always shining.
But I think that's because he did more than he usually does in the first half.
Yeah, well, I mean, he still didn't average a ton in games.
You're not wrong.
Some games he only had 9 points. Some games he had 12 points. I think a couple he had 20.
So you think he was just leading the team instead of being the leader of the team?
I think there was a lot of morale, really.
Okay.
And on defense, which is where we needed it. We couldn't let a second guy get started because the games are already so close.
Yeah, they were.
So I think he did great. Nonetheless, I think he did amazing.
Okay, so let's go with the elephant in the room. They were saying Luka was a ball hog or is a ball hog. Do you agree? And do you think that's going to change with the Timberwolves?
Well, I think on a couple of games, he definitely, kept the ball way too long, too much time off the possessions, where I think it kind of 15 seconds off of that clock. So left the team with maybe 10 seconds if he passed it at that. Because I think once he ate up those 15 seconds, he then chunked the 3.
Yeah.
So it's really wasted possession where he just would not.
Do you think it's because he doesn't trust the team, or it's just muscle memory? He never had a team.
I think he was doing so bad. He was trying to prove a point.
Okay.
I'm gonna make this shot.
Yeah.
Which I've been there. It's going in.
Yeah, but sometimes you're your biggest enemy.
That's true. And those were the times where he needed to trust the rest of the team, and I think he just mentally he just didn't. He was just upset. You see him fighting with the refs a lot.
Yeah.
It's the last game. They had mentioned that the mental shift. Could have maybe helped. He stopped being so upset. And he was kind of just saying he remembered why he was doing this and just enjoyed playing the game. And it kind of showed. He came out.
Yeah, I agree. I think the whole team is looking a lot closer than they did before. And obviously it has to be because of Uncle Drew.
Yeah.
Because he's a vibe.
For sure.
Alrighty. Well, that was our last series. Now we have Timberwolves. Obviously, everyone's been seeing Anthony around. He's amazing. Who do you think is his number 2? Cat or Gobert? Gobert.
I mean, I don't know about scoring wise. I think it kind of comes from both ends, from Cat and Rudy.
Okay. Well, because they're more defensive, aren't they?
What did you see on like those first games? Because we played them in the preseason.
Yeah.
The first games of the season that they were already trying to crush our souls.
I know how crazy the preseason, postseason, same team.
I'm not saying trying. They did crush our souls.
They did. I think we only won one.
Not in the postseason.
Oh, we lost all of those. But in season, we won like one. One, and we played them like 3 times in season.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They won like one.
But the point is, we've been losing.
Yep.
And honestly, I don't think it was a bad loss because that's where D-Live showed his muscle, you know. But we do have Gafford now. We finally have a second center, so huge. And we have PJ, who's also another flyer with DJ, who's also another flyer with Kai, you know.
And
all the J's. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be defense against defense, to be honest.
Yeah. And, I mean, you know, I'll be honest. To my surprise, I didn't know that we had the number 1 defense in the West.
I agree. I didn't even know that was...
I mean, they were doing...
I mean, I knew we were doing good. I didn't think we were doing that great.
So, kind of been a little slacking on that. But, yeah, that's... I mean... And then they have Defensive Player of the Year, which he just got crowned, which is Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Over on the Timberwolves. So we'll see. I mean,
who do you think if you were a game player, who do you want on Gobert? Our defense, obviously.
To try to stop him from scoring.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, not necessarily scoring, but like, I mean, yeah, I guess scoring.
Because I would say, I mean, as Defensive Player of the Year, I think he's going to give any of our bigs trouble.
Okay.
And he's tall as hell.
Yeah.
So is D-Live. And I think the matchup should be D-Live and Rudy.
Okay.
I liked how D-Live handled Rudy in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I think he held his own pretty well. We just had no one else to really try to shut down.
To bounce
Cat.
off, yeah.
Because Cat was out there chunking threes, and he's really just laughing because we had no height. Now we got PJ and Gafford, like you mentioned, after that trade.
Yeah.
And I don't recall facing Timberwolves with either one of those guys.
I don't think so.
So we'll see how this one comes up. I think that as long as we put bodies, which we've already gone through some trenches, I don't think these guys have even felt kind of the same type of brutality that the Mavericks went through with the Clippers, and you know with how they were going back and forth.
I don't know. They just played the Nuggets, and there's Joker there, and he's huge. So he's some muscle they have to go through. Obviously, they want it, so that says a lot more about the Joker than them. But I mean, he's MVP.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, out of the 3 finalists, who's still playing? Right? Yeah. And
I'm just saying.
Rookies,
I was about to say that.
Sorry. I took your script.
And about the 3 rookies. Anyways, we're just saying you all are sleeping on the Mavs.
Yeah, for sure. And that's fine. Like I said, keep sleeping on the Mavs. That's how we like it.
So who do you want on Ant? Ant's the ball holder. He's number 1. We're asking about his number 2. He's automatically number 1.
Right. I think Kai is gonna be guarded by him, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they're making a big deal about. He's like, I got Kyrie on this series.
Ooh, is your defense as good as your offense?
So we'll see.
That's gonna be interesting. I honestly want PJ on him
to block Anthony.
Yeah, I think he can keep up.
I think PJ can definitely keep up, especially because how physical Ant can be. I
agree.
He's
a force. They're both a force.
He
I think. Yeah.
So I think it'd be definitely a good matchup with those 2 guys.
I agree.
I think DJ. I think he'd be kind of better off as trying to maybe just keep an arm on Cat at the 3-point line.
Yeah.
And not let him get those off because.
I mean, let's be honest. DJ is a very silent killer. He hides in the back and then he comes booming out. Yeah. So he's a good one to stay there. Hopefully we keep him.
Yeah. That's for next year. Things to
come. Okay, and then they're talking about obviously Timberwolves is very big, and all of our bigs are in defense. So should D-Life and Gafford be together? Or you think separate? Sometimes play together?
What are your thoughts?
I think they should be separate the whole time. They're gonna be tired, you know. And sadly, we have no one on the bench. Maxi, who knows if he's coming out? We have.
Don't say it. I know who you're thinking about. Don't say it.
Okay. We have Maxi, who's home.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who else would come off. I mean, we have. Wait, that's what you're gonna say.
I was, yeah. But I wasn't allowed.
That's no. He's the one that was our center in the preseason. He was getting manhandled out there, which he usually does, you know. And I don't know what happened. I know he got injured, but he just kind of
lost his vibe.
He just kind of was chilling. And these guys are not.
Yeah, no, it's a totally different. I mean, before it was like, you're allowable, you can chill here. Now it's like, all right, you're not part of this team. We need to do something about you. Get out.
It's hard. And so I don't know. I agree. I think that D-Live and Gafford have to be separate. I think our starting five is great. Mm-hmm. Gafford, PJ, and DJ. Let's see.
Do you think D-Live should start instead of Gafford? Mm-mm. Because seniority or what?
Nope. Nothing to do with seniority. I just think D-Live can come off the bench with even more energy than Gafford. Gafford brings energy for sure. And I don't know. I think Gafford's more deadly when off the, you know, when he's trying to block shots and in the paint.
I agree.
But D-Live brings that energy and the little kind of second wind, you know, maybe in the next group and kind of keep things going momentum-wise.
Okay.
So I like D-Live coming off the bench instead of Gafford. But we'll see, because if they keep Rudy out there, I think you kind of throw in a couple 1-2 punches on Rudy with Gafford and then subbing in D-Live and, you know, get Rudy tired, get him in foul trouble.
Well, that's our defense. Now, what about our offense? Obviously, Luka and Kai had horrible games, and we haven't even seen them go off. Mm-hmm. So
Luka averaged 27 points the first series, 24, now 24.
I mean, obviously, Kai was focusing on the defense, like you said. You know, he had a bunch of blocks, a bunch of steals. He's Kai. But I don't think that's going to be enough for these bigs. You know, we can do so much in our defense. But if we're not making points, then...
how do you win the game?
Yeah, exactly. So...
I mean, I think that Luka is going to be Luka. You know?
Do you think this is enough time for him to heal, or like, all right, come back with force, or you think he still needs more time? Like he's not gonna bring it today, at least.
I think he definitely might need more time. You know, injuries are never like, oh, now I'm perfectly, and they're not nagging. They're always nagging in there, especially if you know it's fresh. Like it's like legit still like it wasn't like he recovered a month ago. He's still injured from the last, but he did come out in Game 5. He had a 31-point triple-double on Game 5, which kind of then teetered the series back, you know, to Game 6, and then we closed it out. So I think that, you know, he's still going to be injured. Obviously, he's going to be nagging him. Maybe not as bad anymore because he looked a little more fresher.
He did.
And now with this time, maybe he recovered a little bit more. But I think he'll, you know, average the 24, 25 maybe in the first game.
That's horrible. Don't quote him.
I mean...
maybe it's me. I'm expecting Luka, you know, and these couple series, it's been Luka.
It's like
you know, like it's a different vibe.
It's the first game, you know. Think about a boxing match.
Of course.
Starting off with the jabs.
Of course. I mean, probability states we're gonna lose this one either way.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like maybe I have Luka in a pedestal. And I don't want to drop him. Yeah. You know, he's Luka. He's number one of our team. Kai's letting him.
I mean, think about though all the calls he doesn't get, right? Which is why he's frustrated. And I'm not saying that's the reason to complain. I absolutely hate that he does that. But he is getting beat up.
Yeah.
Whether getting calls or no calls, the physical toll it's taking on him to be the NBA lead scorer. And then to come out in the playoffs and continue to do that at that level, it gets exhausting. You know, he's young.
I agree, but this is what he asked for. You know, like that's what they say. Like be careful what you wish for. You know, now you have a team, not just number 2. You have a number 3, a number 4. I think we have till number 7 players that are amazing.
Right. But
and where are
human.
you?
He's human.
He's not. He's Madrid blood.
Yeah, well.
I'm just saying. Don't get me wrong. I love Luka. He is. And he's obviously still playing and obviously making points.
He still led the last series in points.
You are not wrong. I'm just saying this is not Luka. You know, like the stance Luka.
But that's why I'm excited for this series because it's a new series. It almost feels like, you know, a breath of fresh air now with a new series, new start. So
new team.
He might come out hot.
You're right.
I don't know.
Right.
You know, maybe finally the pattern changes on this one. I was telling my cousin, you know, he's like, I don't want the same pattern to continue. But, you know, we'll see. He can come out hot because Luka, when he turns it on, you know he can.
Yeah.
Like I said,
obviously.
He was injured. He had done terrible. I think one game, barely broke 20 points. And then on game 5 makes a 30-point triple-double. So, same goes for Kai. He can turn it on. I think now it's to the point where we're so close to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
They might have just another gear to shift it into.
Okay.
But we'll see.
I see that. All right. So that was the West. Let's touch base on the East because we haven't. So obviously last time we said we wanted a Knicks. We were wrong again.
We were trying.
Don't put us on the East side, okay? It's not our side. It's just what we want.
We went off of faith and hope on our ex-Maverick.
I mean, it's because we were wrong about Giannis, too.
Giannis.
So don't quote us on the East.
Yeah. But no one knew Giannis was going to be hurt.
Yeah.
So, things happened. The Knicks, no one was injured. They just couldn't pull it through. Josh Hart had gotten injured or something, but he did have a big game on one of the series. I think he made like 30 points. Yeah, don't put me. I'm sorry.
We don't watch it.
We watched just enough, and honestly, what we've seen from those series, it's been very mid.
Yeah.
Compared to all the West.
Yeah.
Sorry, East people that they're in love with their team over there, but it's still not this. The West still rules.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're just a little bigger, a little stronger, a little more aggressive. I don't know what it is.
Something in the water that they put on their states.
Yeah, I mean, even though OKC was like we're skinny, but it's just they're still fast skinny. It's still entertainment skinny.
Yeah, I don't know. They get the good Kool-Aid, so
yeah.
Everybody in the West does.
Well, now there is the Celtics and the Pacers. Right. So obviously Tatum is being Tatum. He's amazing.
Tatum in the last series led the scoring portion, rebound portion, assists, and also in blocks.
So he's the problem.
Yeah, but see, I think we averaged 2 blocks at least in the last series with Gafford.
Okay.
And Shea beat him with a 2.3, which I didn't realize he had that many blocks per game.
I didn't. He's very silent on defense, you know?
But he's there. Which was the reason why, he could have gotten another block and won the game for them.
Yeah.
On that series. But he got a foul instead, and, how that went.
Well, yeah.
But 1 block for Jason Tatum in the last series, 1 block for, I don't know who, in the Cavaliers. Sorry again.
Cavaliers Celtics?
Yeah. But I don't know who it was that was the rebound leader for the Cavs. They lost. I didn't really look into it.
So who do you think is going to win? Celtics or Pacers?
I think Celtics have, as I've told you, I thought that they had been a little bit more frequently to the finals. They have not. They've been very frequent to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, okay.
But they've yet to really break through. I think they went once.
And what about the Pacers? What are your thoughts on them?
They're a young team. And they're led by our old coach, which is Rick Carlisle.
Okay. And
that's where he went once we hired Jason Kidd. Rick Carlisle was the coach that actually led us to the championship in 2011.
Ooh, cool.
So
that's interesting.
He's a good coach, obviously. I think the Pacers fit him very well, so I think they can be deadly. But Tyrese Halliburton also is one that he can be on, he can be off, and that kind of rides on the team's success and failure. Same goes for Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Because he literally led in every category last series. So, come on, guys. Which, I mean, I guess you can't say too much.
So
right?
you think
Luka
he
leaves
doesn't
in a
have
lot
like
of
an...
hours.
Yeah, I mean, of course. But he has a number 2.
Yeah, and Kristaps Porzingis did not play at all last series, mind you, should I say.
Is he supposed to be like their number 2?
He was.
Does Tatum have a number 2?
Yeah, Jaylen Brown is their number 2. Again, he barely, he's every year he's better at the game for sure. He's a lot better this year, but the guy was supposed to take him over the top was Kristaps.
Oh.
And like always, he's injured. Like I told you, oh my god, that guy. He did the same thing to the Mavericks, and he's gonna do the same thing to the Celtics. They said he might come back by Game 4 of the Pacers. So this dude just wants to come in, ride the wave for the finals. He could probably be their missing piece, right? If he comes back and they make the finals, but
you don't see it as competition.
I don't really see him that dangerous. Like he's very inconsistent. His 3-point shot at mid, his defense, get out of the way. Gaff is coming through. I mean, obviously it's a very bittersweet moment to be able to play against him again. Although they did beat us when we met them in the regular season, but that's regular season.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Alrighty. So, what is your perfect game?
I think Celtics win, by the way.
Okay. But what is your perfect game for Mavericks and Timberwolves? What do you think? How many losses and how many wins we're gonna have? What's your prediction?
Perfect game? We sweep.
No. Okay, fine. Realistic.
Damn, I don't know. Like the way I saw them play the last game against the Nuggets, Anthony Edwards was 1 for 7 until like the 4th.
Yeah.
And then he came out, And
do you think that's scarier that he comes out on the 4th? I mean, Kai hasn't been closing our games like he usually does.
I think it is. It can be very dangerous, especially if we let our guard down and let this kid do the same thing to us.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of one of those moments that if he does, it won't happen multiple times, kind of like real James Harden.
Okay.
He came in and just killed us with 5 straight. And he said, "See you later, Dunskies." So I think if Ant was to do that, I don't think it happened a second time. But I don't know if they saw that game, because I know a lot of times they don't watch games and stuff. They don't really care. They're too busy doing what they do. But if they did, hopefully that's they take note to not just sleep on this kid, because he can turn it on. When he has to, and he brought them back and he closed out that game against the Nuggets.
I agree. He's a force,
and it's contagious because then once he's going, then Cat gets going, and then Rudy gets going, and then it starts kind of catching on. They are that kind of team.
Okay, I see. So you never said how many wins, how many losses. What's the score here?
I want to think about that. But all right. Say we take it to 7.
How dare you say that out loud?
Only because these guys they can be like that. I just said they can be scary.
Do you think they'll be as aggressive as the Celtics, or do you think it's just going to be a different vibe of defense? Like, not aggressive, but like, obviously blocks are going to be huge.
No, I think they might. I think my Mavericks might have to put Rudy Gobert in a headlock too. Like Draymond Green had to do Rudy Gobert.
So Peter's fouling out this series.
We'll see. Yeah, he's gonna be gritty. I like it. So we'll see. I know Ant likes to talk a lot. Luka can talk a lot, and
but Kai's the one that gets flustered. Do you think he'll get flustered?
We'll see. I don't think he does get flustered. I think especially in these kind of moments right now. And maybe in regular season games.
I was just saying, in regular season, he looked like he was getting flustered.
He's like, all right, maybe it did get to him, but in reality, there wasn't a huge importance to a lot of the games where he did maybe get flustered. Okay. It wasn't like ride or die type situations.
It was very cash.
And he maybe, he does sometimes get a little flustered. But I think in these moments, it's a different type. It's what do they say, playoff Kai or playoff Jason, playoff Luka. And I think, some of these guys, they do have that mentality. That's what it boils down to.
Do you think that's going to Luka? Because obviously he did complain less to the refs. And Luka is the one who shows his emotions so big.
Right.
So you think Luka's going to be the problem then?
I think...
with Anthony's a force, so he can bring it when he says it.
But I like it because when Luka does get mad, Watch out.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
He's shooting threes from everywhere, half court and everything.
He
and
doesn't thrive on negativity.
Yeah, so it can teeter totter. I don't see Luka really fighting with the players so much. I think it's the refs that are gonna be the problem.
I was gonna say, because in the Nuggets versus Timberwolves, you can obviously tell the refs wanted the Nuggets to win.
They did,
but and ours too.
It's not that he won't fight with the players. It's like it won't affect him as much as refs not calling calls.
Okay. But that's what my question is. Do you think the refs gonna lean towards the Timberwolves?
I don't know. That's interesting because I know that
teams that they don't like.
I know for a fact, and more people are probably disliking me for this comment, but if it was the Nuggets and the Mavs, the refs would be doing everything possible to get them into the finals.
I agree.
I mean, call it what you will.
Don't say it too loud because you're gonna get 75,000 fine.
I'll say call it what you will, but there's proof that these refs, have cheated out games, and come on, let's be realistic, guys, and it's obvious. So at least now I feel like it's an even ground. Two young stars, no one's been there before. Either Wolves make it to the finals in first time in a long time, or the Mavs make it to the finals for the first time in a long time.
I don't know. I think the NBA itself likes Timberwolves. If you go through all the ads, the ESPN, mainly they are part of the big teams that are there, So I think realistically we're the underdogs.
But I think we've gotten used to it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I think we've gotten used to it. And as long as we stay, or they stay mentally focused, which is the biggest thing ever, I think they'll be all right.
I agree.
Definitely be all right.
I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting game. We're going to post this before the game.
Right.
So, and then we'll come back maybe mid.
Maybe
2 games, 3 games in, and then we'll finish it off with you.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's us.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Bye.